Good morning, Kathmandu. It's very early in Kathmandu, right? 7:30. All right, we can start answering some questions. So first, I'm Rafael Urena. I'm an attorney with the law offices of Rafael Urena, and I work closely with Mr. Curtis Morrison in his law office. We're in the process of merging, and we'll become one law office here soon. Today, I'll be answering questions from specifically related to Diversity Visa 2021 in our upcoming lawsuit against the State Department and the President of the United States for its failure to adjudicate DV 2021 cases. So I'm here with Mr. Dibden. I'll allow him to introduce himself and to explain what we're going to do here today in Nepali.
Namaste, good morning. I'm here as Mr. Rafael Romo. DV 2021 मा भइरहेको अहिले रिसेन्टली भइरहेको प्रोग्रेसहरु अनि त्यसपछि हामीले फाइल गर्न लागिरहेको नयाँ लसुटको बारेमा क्वेशन्सहरु लिने अनि डिस्कस गर्ने प्लान छ. So yeah, looking forward to the questions हरु पठाउनु होला.
Great. So I'll take my first question. It's from Mr. Subhash Pudel. He says, I am a plaintiff in your new lawsuit. I want to know who will be prioritized first, low case numbers or anyone with specific conditions with high case. So the question is, who will be prioritized first with DV 2021 and how will that in regards to our lawsuit? So I'll let Mr. Dibden translate that question.
So Subhashले चाहिँ यो लसुट जित्यो भने कसको चाहिँ फर्स्टमा इन्टरभ्यु सेट हुन्छ भनेर सोध्नु भएको छ. So yeah, Rafael, if you can answer that.
Right. So right now the State Department is stating that they're adjudicating cases according to case numbers, but we know that each embassy is different, so that each embassy is adjudicating cases at a different pace. What the State Department is saying is that, one, there's a tiered prioritization so that they're adjudicating certain kind of cases first, and diversity visas are on the very bottom of that, and that other embassies are not adjudicating cases at all. So it's difficult to know which cases will be prioritized first. What we are going to try to do with our case is to get our clients priority in the adjudication of their visas. We want our clients to have the first opportunity to get their immigrant visas at the embassy before anybody else.
So basically, I can hear like echo. So अहिले चाहिँ स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टले चारवटा क्याटेगोरीमा भिजा प्रोसेस गर्ने भनिरहेछ. सो त्यसको चाहिँ लास्टमा चाहिँ डिभी परिरहेछ अनि सबै एम्बेसीहरुले डिफरेन्ट टेस्टमा डिफरेन्ट वेमा आफ्नो वेमा भिजाहरु प्रोसेस गरिरहेको भएर अहिले एक्ज्याक्टली भन्न चाहिँ गाह्रो छ. तर हाम्रो मेन प्रायोरिटी भनेको चाहिँ हाम्रो लसुटमा हुने सबै प्लेन्टिफ्सहरु हाम्रो क्लायन्ट्सहरुको चाहिँ भिजा जसरी पनि गर्ने सिक्वेन्समा ध्यान भन्दा पनि सबैजनाको गर्ने प्रायोरिटी हुन्छ. त्यो भएर चाहिँ कसले पहिला पाउँछ भन्ने कुरा भन्दा पनि सबैले पाउने कुरा चाहिँ इम्पोर्टेन्ट हो.
So there's a question here, what about June 2L letters in Nepal? We don't know what June is going to be like in Nepal. We know that interview letters are very difficult to come by. It appears that there is some restrictions in place in Nepal right now. So we don't exactly know what June will look like as far as interviews for Nepal. It remains unseen, but what we do know is that there's not going to be a large amount of adjudications taking place based on a prioritization scheme because diversity visas are at the very bottom of that priority list.
जुनमा एक्ज्याक्टली कसरी प्रोसेस गर्छ भनेर थाहा छैन. अहिले त्यहीमाथि अहिले कोभिडको केसेसहरु बढेर एम्बेसीमा यतिकै पनि काम भइरहेको छैन. भयो भने पनि अब यो नयाँ स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टको नयाँ क्याटेगोराइजेसनले डिभीलाई चाहिँ लास्ट प्रायोरिटी दिरा भएर भइहाल्यो भने पनि एकदमै थोरै मात्र हुने चान्सेस छ त्यस्तो धेरै चाहिँ हुँदैन सेकेन्ड लेटर्सहरु आए पनि इन्टरभ्यु सेट
I'm going to try to lower my volume here a little bit for you because I know there's an echo, so give me a second.
That'd be great.
Great. So we have another question here. Given the dire corona cases in Nepal, if lockdown continues indefinitely, even beyond September, how will this case be handled? Well, we know that lockdown had occurred recently, and that for much of the time for this fiscal year, essentially since October, they were not adjudicating cases. So we were going to, even if there's a lockdown now, we will make the case, and even if individuals are not able to attend interviews, we are going to make the case that visas should be reserved for diversity visas 2021 based on the lingering injuries and the State Department's failure to process these cases.
अहिले लकडाउन हुनुभन्दा अगाडि पनि स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टले एम्बेसीले इन्टरभ्युहरु स्केड्युल गरिरहेको थिएन अनि अहिले लकडाउन भएपछि त डेफिनेटली गरि नै रहेछैन सो अहिले हाम्रो फोकस भनेको चाहिँ इन्टरभ्यु अनलाइन गराएर हुन्छ कि कसरी हुन्छ इन्टरभ्यु भएन भने पनि सेप्टेम्बर 30th पछि पनि हामीले चाहिँ हाम्रो केसमा भयो क्लाइन्ट्सहरुको लागि चाहिँ पछिसम्मको लागि भिजा रिजर्भ गरेर भए पनि भिजा दिलाउने try गर्छौं.
Great. So I have another question here. If I don't participate in a lawsuit, will that affect me rather than those who have participated in the lawsuit? So I'll let Mr. Dibden translate that.
So यो lawsuitमा भाग लिनु भएन भने हजुरलाई यो lawsuitमा भाग लिने र नलिने मान्छेमा फरक के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि यो lawsuit चाहिँ यो लसुटमा भाग लिने क्लाइन्ट्सहरुको लागि मात्र फाइल गरिरहेको कुरा त्यो बाहेक यो क्लास एक्सन लसुट हैन सो यसमा जो क्लाइन्ट्सहरुले साइन अप गर्नुहुन्छ जो पार्टिसिपेट गर्नुहुन्छ उहाँहरुले मात्र यसको बेनिफिट्सहरु पाउनुहुन्छ सो तपाईले यो लसुटमा पार्टिसिपेट गर्नु भएन भाग लिनु भएन भने पछि यो लसुटको क्लाइन्ट्सहरुलाई मात्र भिजा दिने भन्ने भने तपाई भाग नलिनु भयो भने तपाईले पाउनुहुन्न.
Right, and so if there's really no way to tell right now if you don't participate in the lawsuit, but we're not bringing a class action. So it's unknown the relief that could be given to the class if we don't bring a class action lawsuit. So great, I have another question here. Mr. Rafael, in your lawsuit for DV 2021 placement, is it first come, first serve, or based on case numbers? 2, it's difficult to say what the order of the court will be at this point. But what I do know is that my team is preparing to help assist diversity visa winners as soon as they come on board. So our team is preparing to contact the Kentucky Consular Center on behalf of our clients and to begin to ensure that they have document submissions and these sorts of things for clients now. That could put individuals in a better position to receive their diversity visa.
So कुन सिक्वेन्समा कसको भिजा प्रोसेस गर्छ भनेर चाहिँ अहिले भन्न सकिदैन तर हामीहरुले चाहिँ लसुटमा साइन अप गर्ने मान्छेहरुको लागि चाहिँ अहिले नै केसीसी मा केन्टकी काउन्सिलमा कुरा गरेर हुन्छ कि कसरी हुन्छ हामीले चाहिँ सकेसम्म चाँडो इन्टरभ्युहरु स्केड्युल गराउन खोजिरहेछौं तर अघि भने जस्तै सिक्वेन्स चाहिँ अहिले भन्न सकिदैन एम्बेसी हेरेर अनि कति जना मान्छेहरु हुन्छ त्यो हेरेर एम्बेसीले डिसाइड गरेर हुन्छ सो त्यो मेन प्रायोरिटी भने चाहिँ सबैजनाले भिजा पाउने हो अहिले कसरी सिक्वेन्स मिल्छ भन्ने चाहिँ थाहा छैन.
So I have a question here. I submitted the form yesterday and got the agreement signed by email. Now what will be the next step? So right now, the next step is to wait for further instructions. You've done everything necessary up to this point to be participating in the lawsuit. Someone from our team is going to contact you with the next step, but right now, there's nothing you need to do.
यो लसुटमा तपाईले फर्म भरेर इमेल फिर्ता पाइसक्नु भयो भने तपाईले गर्न सक्ने जति सबै गरिसक्नु भयो सो अहिले तपाईले के पनि गर्नु पर्दैन अरु के गर्ने भनेर फर्दर इन्फर्मेसन इमेल थ्रु हाम्रो टिमले तपाईलाई पठाउँछ सो यो लसुटको सबै अनबोर्डिङ काम सकेपछि अनि इमेलहरु बिस्तारै आउन थाल्छ सो त्यसको लागि कुर्ने मात्र हो तपाईले गर्ने जति सबै गरिसक्नु भयो
This question is from Dr. Ali Al-Wahami. He asks that he states that his embassy is closed for security reasons and they're not interviewing diversity visas. If we win the case, he's afraid that his chance will disappear. What we did in the past, in the last DV 2020 for individuals that had issues at their embassies, is that we requested to have those applications transferred to another embassy to have that adjudicated. And I believe that if we were able to prevail on the merits of this case, we will have the opportunity to change embassy locations and transfer applications.
So हाम्रो पहिलाको केसको एक्सपिरियन्स हेर्दाखेरि पनि हामीले चाहिँ मोर देन 50-60 वटा जस्तो केस चाहिँ बन्द भएको एम्बेसीबाट खुला भएको एम्बेसीमा ट्रान्सफर गर्नलाई सक्सेसफुल भएको थियो सो यो पाली पनि हामीले यो लसुटमा जितेर जजले पोजिटिभ अर्डर दिनुभयो भने चाहिँ बन्द भएको त्यसरी एम्बेसीहरुबाट खुला एम्बेसीहरुमा केस ट्रान्सफर गराएर इन्टरभ्यु गराएर भिजा दिलाउन ट्राई गर्छौं
I have a question here from Bashal. Bashal asks, I have signed up for a lawsuit and I got the reference number. Does this mean I am a plaintiff in your case? No, a reference number alone does not make you a plaintiff in the case. You must have received by email a signed retainer agreement. If you receive the signed retainer agreement, that means you've completed all of the steps necessary to participate in this lawsuit. So again, it's very important. A reference number alone does not make you a participant in this lawsuit. You must have received the signed retainer agreement by email to ensure your participation in this lawsuit.
विशाल जी तपाईले रेफरेन्स नम्बर पाएर मात्र तपाई लसुटमा एन्टर गरिसक्नु भएको छैन तपाईले रिटेनर अग्रीमेन्टमा साइन गरेको रिटेनर अग्रीमेन्ट चाहिन्छ त्यो चाहिँ इमेलबाट आउँछ त्यो भएपछि मात्र तपाईको केसमा प्लेन्टिफ हुनुहुन्छ अहिले रेफरेन्स नम्बर इमेलमा आएर मात्र तपाई प्लेन्टिफ हुनुहुन्छ सो त्यो इमेलको लागि हाम्रो टिमले पठाएपछि मात्र तपाई यो लसुटको लागि प्लेन्टिफ हुनुहुन्छ नेक्स्ट क्वेशन
Yes, Mr. Pritam asks, how can you guys help me refer my case from Kathmandu embassy to other embassies? How this works is that we must, to have your case transferred to another embassy, you must request from the other embassy to accept your case. So this is somewhat difficult to do. You have to have a basis for it. But what essentially is done is that you send the request for the transfer to the new embassy, and if they accept that request, then the old embassy sends your file to the new embassy.
Okay. So यो केस ट्रान्सफर गर्नको लागि चाहिँ नयाँ एम्बेसी तपाईले खोजेर नयाँ एम्बेसीले चाहिँ तपाईको केस लिन्छु भनेपछि मात्र तपाईले केस ट्रान्सफर गर्न मिल्छ अलिकति सिम्पल चाहिँ छैन यो केस यो अलिकति गाह्रै हो तर पहिला हामीले गरेको भएर गर्न चाहिँ सकिन्छ तर तपाईले एम्बेसी अर्को एम्बेसीले तपाईको केस लिन्छु भनेर एक्सेप्ट गर्नु पर्यो अनि त्यसपछि मात्र ट्रान्सफर गर्न मिल्छ
Right. We have a question here from the bin. How many DV interview appointment slots would Kathmandu embassy plan to make available every month? We do not know. At this point, we know that there's some tweets from the embassy in Kathmandu that says that they are somewhat restricted in the availability of interview slots based on the prioritization of other visa categories over the diversity visas.
कति जना टिभी को इन्टरभ्यु लिन्छ भनेर थाहा छैन तर रिसेन्टली एम्बेसीले चाहिँ आई थिंक ट्वीटबाट भने रहेछ अरू क्याटेगोरीहरूलाई प्रायोरिटाइज गरेको भएर DB को लागि चाहिँ धेरै स्लट्स हुँदैन भनेर चाहिँ भनेको छ तर कतिवटा एक्ज्याक्टली भनेर चाहिँ भनेको छैन.
The second question by Navin is, would embassy provide a video conference as an option for interviews? No, they will not. The State Department believes that they have to have the visa applicant present before them physically in order to adjudicate their visa applications. So unless ordered to by a court, which I don't believe will happen, they will not do video conferences as an option.
भिडियो इन्टरभ्यू चाहिँ अप्सन हैन किनभने स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टले चाहिँ मान्छे अगाडि बडीमा प्रेजेन्ट नै हुनुपर्छ उनीहरूले त्यो हेरेपछि मात्र तपाईको भिजा दिने नदिने भनेर डिसाइड गर्न सक्छ सो जजले नभनुन्जेल त्यो हुँदैन तर यो कुरा जजले भन्न पनि गाह्रो छ सो भिडियोबाट इन्टरभ्यू भएर भिजा हुने भन्ने चाहिँ चान्सेस छैन नै भन्दा पनि हुन्छ.
The question from Bashal is, does the INA have such law that prioritizes visa categories? The answer is no. There is no law within the Immigration and Nationality Act that says that one visa needs to be prioritized over another visa in its adjudication.
त्यस्तो प्रायोरिटाइज गर्न मिल्छ भनेर आइएनएमा छैन विशालजी सो यो कुरा यतिकै अहिले स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्ट निकालेको कुरा हो यो बुकमा भएर लमा भएको कुरा चाहिँ हैन.
What is the purpose of this lawsuit? The purpose of this lawsuit is to give as many of our plaintiffs an opportunity to receive a visa. That is the purpose. We have one purpose, is to put the visa in the hands of our clients. We will take many different approaches to doing this by our consular processing teams and in litigation before the federal courts to ensure that our clients get visas.
हाम्रो यो लसुटको मेन उद्देश्य भने चाहिँ हाम्रो लसुटमा भने सबैजनालाई भिजा सकेसम्म धेरैजनालाई भिजा दिलाउने हो सो हाम्रो त्यो मात्र गोल छ अहिले भिजा इज द ओन्ली गोल भने जस्तो अहिले चाहिँ भिजा कसरी हुन्छ हाम्रो क्लाइन्ट्सहरुलाई सकेसम्म धेरै क्लाइन्ट्सहरुलाई भिजा दिलाउने हाम्रो गोल हो त्यसको लागि अब हाम्रो काउन्सिलर प्रोसेसिङ टिम हुन्छ कि अहिले यो कानुनी यो स्ट्र्याटेजी बनाइराख्नु भएको लिगल टिम हुन्छ जसरी भए पनि हाम्रो के स्ट्रङ बनाएर धेरै जनालाई भिजा दिलाउने नै हो हाम्रो चाहिँ मेन गोल.
Right. I have a question here from Bishal again. He says, I have not filled the declaration form and have submitted sign-up form. Is that compulsory? Is that necessary while signing? The questions that are necessary are on the form will not allow you to proceed without completing those. So if you were able to get to the end of it and sign, and you received an email with the retainer agreement attached, you did everything necessary to participate in the lawsuit.
विशालजी तपाईले भन्नु भएको कुराहरु आई थिंक रेफरेन्स नम्बर पाइसक्नु भयो भने ठीक छ किनभने तपाईले फर्ममा एकदमै एब्सोल्युटली चाहिने नै कुरा नभरिकन एप्लिकेसनमा अगाडि बढ्न दिदैन सो तपाईले रेफरेन्स नम्बर पाएर इमेल पाइसक्नु भयो भने तपाईले त्यो डिस्क्लेमर त्योहरु नभर्दा पनि हुन्छ डेक्लरेसनहरु नभर्दा पनि हुन्छ किनभने त्यो एप्लिकेसन थ्रु भइसक्यो.
So there's a question by Kumar. Is there any possibility that Kathmandu Embassy will start interviews soon, and will KCC send the 2NL soon? I think there is a possibility that the embassy will do some interviews before the September 30th deadline. I think there is slim to no chance that they will do a lot of interviews or many interviews to get as many of the Nepali selectees visas because of the prioritization scheme. It doesn't allow them to schedule that many diversity visa applications.
September 30 तारिख भन्दा अगाडि काठमाडौँ एम्बेसीले इन्टरभ्यु गर्दै नगर्ने भन्ने चाहिँ हैन गर्न चाहिँ गर्छ तर एकदमै थोरै गर्छ होला किनभने यो नयाँ प्रायोरिटाइजेसन रुलले गर्दा डिबी लास्टमा पर्ने भएको भएर उनीहरुले धेरै नै चाहिँ गर्दैन तर गर्न चाहिँ गर्छ कतिवटा गर्छ भन्ने चाहिँ सकिदैन तर गर्न चाहिँ गर्छ.
I have a question from Precious. I am signed up for another lawsuit, but I also want to participate in this lawsuit. Can I participate? The short answer is no. The longer answer is it depends. It's something that you should ask your attorneys participating in that lawsuit, whether they advise you to join this lawsuit, whether it's possible, and what would be the ramifications if you dropped your claims in that other lawsuit and participated in our lawsuit. But while those two cases are going on, it's unlikely that you are able to participate in our lawsuit.
तपाईले यो अर्को लसुटमा पार्टिसिपेट गर्दा गर्दै यसमा गर्न सक्नुहुन्न, सिम्पली भन्दा चाहिँ सक्नुहुन्न, तर तपाईले पहिला तपाईको अर्को लसुटको लयर्सहरुलाई सोधेर गर्न मिल्छ कि मिल्दैन भनेर सोधेर उनीहरुले गर्न मिल्छ भने चाहिँ मेबी गर्न मिल्छ, तर सिम्पली भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ यसलाई चाहिँ यो चाहिँ गर्न मिल्दैन, किनभने दुईटै लसुटले एउटै कुरा खोजिरहेको भएपछि तपाईले त्यो गरिराख्नु भएको छ, यो गरिराख्नु भएको छ, एउटै कुरा हुने भएको भएर तपाईले त्यो लसुटमा चाहिँ कन्टिन्यू गर्दा पनि हुन्छ। सो यो गर्न मिल्दैन सिम्पली भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ।
I have a question here from Mr. Hamal. If the cap is current 6,400, is our dream finished? I don't believe anybody's dream is finished. We anticipate that the next month loss visa bulletin will have all Nepali numbers current, and that means that their claims are ripe and they have an opportunity to get their visa. So I would say that there is hope that any number for Nepali could result in the adjudication of a visa, and it's particularly if we are successful with our lawsuit.
So अहिले केस नम्बर करेन्ट नभएको तपाईहरुलाई पनि नेक्स्ट भिजा बुलेटिनमा केस नम्बर करेन्ट हुन्छ। सो अहिले नै सबै सकिने भन्ने चाहिँ हुँदैन। सो त्यही हो, सेप्टेम्बर 30 तारिख भित्रमा कति केस गर्छ भन्ने कुरा हो। अनि करेन्ट चाहिँ सबैजनाको हुन्छ, सो सबैले चान्स पाउँछ। सो त्यही भएर हाम्रो लसुटले चाहिँ सकेसम्म धेरै मान्छेहरूलाई यो भिजा दिलाउनको लागि ट्राई गर्ने हो।
Okay, so Mr. Sanjip, we're only answering questions for Diversity Visa 2021 today. So we will have another Facebook Live for Jacob plaintiffs shortly. Mr. Harish asks, what is the probability of winning this lawsuit as there's no fixed decision of lawsuit filed for 2020? Well, I don't think the fact that there is no final decision in the DB 2020 case will affect our opportunities to win our case. Now, those two claims are going to be adjudicated by a judge. So the two cases are going to be brought before a judge, and they're going to be evaluated on their own merits. What is good about this case is that there is case law stating that the State Department's actions in the past were unlawful. So that gives us confidence that this case could also be successful.
So DB 2020 को केसहरुको रिजल्ट्स आएको छैन भन्नेमा यो केस अनसक्सेसफुल हुन्छ भन्ने छैन। अहिले स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टले 2020 मा एम्बेसीजहरुले स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्ट लिगली हेर्दाखेरि ढिलो गरेको भनेर लिगली थाहा भइसकेको छ। सो हामीलाई चाहिँ थाहा छ यो ढिलो जानी ढिलो गरे हो भनेर थाहा भएको भएर चाहिँ यो केस सक्सेसफुल हुने चान्सेस धेरै छ। अनि अब ग्यारेन्टी त गर्न सकिदैन, किनभने लसुट हो, लसुट अब कसरी प्ले आउट हुन्छ के हुन्छ भनेर पछि नै थाहा हुन्छ। प्ले आउट गर्न दिनुपर्छ, यसको लागि चाहिँ कुरेर हेर्नै पर्ने हुन्छ। तर 2020 को डिसिजन्सहरु आएको छैन, 2020 को फर्म डिसिजन्सहरु आएको छैन भन्नेमा यो केस पनि त्यस्तै हुन्छ भन्ने चाहिँ भन्न मिल्दैन। यो केस सक्सेसफुल हुने चान्सेस धेरै नै छ, अनि हाम्रो टिमले त्यसमै काम पनि गरिरहेछ।
So I have a question here from an Albanian client. He says, I'm a 2021 lottery winner in Albania. I already participated on your lawsuit and I want to see what are my chances to get my visa. The number is 16,000. I think this is a question that everybody's going to have, right? They think that they want to know what are their chances for their visa numbers. Are they high or they're low? This is such difficult times with the adjudication of diversity visas. There is no way to tell whether if you have a low number or a high number, what are your chances, right? So I think the question isn't what number do you have, but what are you doing to try to get and protect your opportunity to get your visa? These are the things that are going to give you a better opportunity or no opportunity in getting your visa, whether you're being proactive in sending your documents, if you're hiring an attorney, if you're communicating with the embassy. These things will increase your chances. And because all numbers are current, everybody's going to have an opportunity to get their visa, or at least a chance, not an opportunity, but at least still have some sort of chance to try to get that visa.
So यो पालि अरु इयर जस्तो सिमिलर नभएको भएर चाहिँ कसले भिजा पाउँछ कसले भिजा पाउँदैन भनेर भन्न सकिदैन. सो भिजा पाउने र नपाउनेको डिफरेन्स चाहिँ तपाईले के गरिराख्नु भएको छ त्यसमा डिपेन्ड गर्छ. तपाई कतिको ट्राई गरिराख्नु भएको छ, तपाईले डकुमेन्ट्सहरु पठाइसक्नु भयो कि भएन, तपाईले एम्बेसीसँग कुरा गरिराख्नु भएको छ कि छैन, तपाईले लयर हायर गर्नु भएको छ कि छैन, यो सबै कुराहरु हेरेर पाउने नपाउने. किनभने अर्को मन्थतिर बेसिकली सबैजनाको नै केस करेन्ट हुने भएपछि सबैजनाकै इक्वल चान्स हुन्छ. अब यो कुन केस नम्बरले कहिले चान्स पाउँछ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ भन्न सकिदैन, किनभने यो चाहिँ अहिलेको यो सिचुएसन कमन सिचुएसन हैन. 2018, 17, 19 मा भए भए चाहिँ केस नम्बर 4000, 5000 कोले स्योर हुन्थ्यो भन्ने भन्न सकिन्थ्यो. तर अहिलेको केसमा डिफरेन्ट भएको भएर यो भन्न सकिदैन. त्यही भएर हामीले चाहिँ अब बेस्ट एफर्ट कसरी हुन्छ लागि पर्नुपर्ने जस्तो सिचुएसन अहिले आइपरेको छ.
Great. So there's a question here from Mr. Pudal. He says, why are we filing so late at court? We know that the court decisions come so late. The government is actually going to say that we're bringing this case too early. They're saying that they still have 3 months to adjudicate diversity visas, that they're in the process of adjudicating these visas, and to give them time. The reason we're bringing it now is because most people will be current, or almost all people will be current in June, based on the State Department's communications to the general public about the visa bulletin. So we believe that this is a best opportunity to bring a case that can help the most amount of people. We brought a case earlier in Ray where we were able to help a limited number of European clients that were current, and we were able to bring that case earlier, but we couldn't have a lot of people on that case because most people's visas were not current. So we think that now would be an opportune time to bring the case because everybody's going to be current in June. So that's a perfect time to file this lawsuit.
So हामीलाई यो लसुट ढिलो सुरु गरे जस्तो लाग्ने भयो पनि स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टले चाहिँ अझ टाइम छ, अहिले किन किचकिच गरिरहेको जस्तो गरी कुराहरु गर्ने भएको भएर चाहिँ हामीलाई चाहिँ अब ढिलो भइसक्यो जस्तो लाग्छ. तर अहिले चाहिँ राइट टाइम हो, किनभने सबैजनाको भिजा बल्ल करेन्ट भइरहेछ. अनि एउटा सानो केस चाहिँ अस्ति पनि भएको थियो राइट भन्ने, त्यो केस चाहिँ युरोपियन क्लाइन्ट्सहरु करेन्ट भएको क्लाइन्ट्सहरुको लागि एउटा सानो केस भएको थियो. अनि त्यो केसमा चाहिँ सबै करेन्ट भएको मान्छेहरु मात्र हुनुहुन्थ्यो. सो अहिलेको सिचुएसनमा सबैजना करेन्ट हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ अहिले नै राइट टाइम हो जस्तो लागेर अहिले लसुट फाइल गर्न लागिरहेको हो. ढिलो भन्दा पनि यो चाहिँ राइट टाइम हो जस्तो लागेर अहिले सुरु गरिरहेको.
Great. Mr. Bishal asks, why are some embassies scheduling visas aggressively, but most embassies are not? Is it embassy specific or State Department? The answer is both. The State Department has given a framework for embassies to adjudicate visas. They have given them some guidance, some guidelines. Now, these individual embassies are now interpreting those guidelines and scheduling visas. So it's going to be different for every single one. But yes, so there's the guidelines from the State Department, and then the embassies themselves interpret those guidance and then make the decisions on how to adjudicate the visas.
Okay. So यो ढिलो कसले गरिरहेको भन्दा चाहिँ दुईटै स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्ट अनि एम्बेसी दुईटैले हो. स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टले चाहिँ इन्स्ट्रक्सन्सहरु दिइरहेछ. जस्तै अहिले नयाँ रुलमा डीबीलाई 4th क्याटेगोरीमा राखेको छ. सो यो सबै इन्स्ट्रक्सन्सहरु स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टले एम्बेसीजहरुलाई पठाउँछ. अनि त्यो एम्बेसीले चाहिँ त्यो मेसेजहरु कसरी बुझ्ने कसरी इम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्ने भनेर चाहिँ उनीहरुले आफै डिसाइड गर्छ. सो त्यही भएर हरेक पोस्टको डिसिजन्सहरु डिफरेन्ट हुन्छ. एउटा एम्बेसीले एउटा स्टेप लिइरहेछ भने अर्को एम्बेसीले त्यही कुरामा अर्को स्टेप लिन सक्छ सो त्यही भएर डिफ्रेन्ट पिपल डिफ्रेन्ट मान्छेहरूले डिफ्रेन्ट टाइपको डिसिजन लिएको जस्तै एम्बेसी पनि एकदमै युनिफर्म नभएर फरक फरक वेमा यो स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टको अर्डर्सहरूलाई फलो गरेर भएर फरक परिरहेको हुन्छ
Sanjay has a question here. How do I correct my form as I have uploaded my second page of the DS-260, or shall I file a new form? If you have received the signed retainer agreement, please do not complete the form again. Contact our office with your correct form and we'll make sure to correct it. But please do not submit multiple forms if you have already received your signed retainer agreement. This will only cause complications in our lawsuit and complications with your case. So we ask that you only complete, once you have that signed retainer agreement, do not complete the form again. If you have not received this signed retainer agreement, then you can complete the form again.
So तपाईँले रिटेनर एग्रिमेन्ट पाइसक्नु भयो भने चाहिँ अर्को फर्म भरेर सबमिट नगर्नु होला त्यसले अझ धेरै कम्प्लिकेसन हुन्छ धेरै टाइम लाग्छ तपाईँको मिलाउनलाई तर त्यो गर्नु भएको छैन भने चाहिँ तपाईँले एडिट गरेर त्यसमा पठाउन मिल्छ सो रिटेनर एग्रिमेन्ट पाउनु भएको छ भने चाहिँ नगर्नुस् अर्को फर्म सबमिट नगर्नुस् रिटेनर एग्रिमेन्ट पाउनु भएको छैन भने चाहिँ गर्दा हुन्छ
Great. Mr. Hamal says, if the lawsuit is won, how to process interviews like serial case or randomly? It's difficult to know. It's going to be based on what the judge's order is. So we'll ask the judge to order that all of our clients are have their visas adjudicated expeditiously, but how they actually, the individual's embassies actually process those visas for our client is yet to be seen. So we'll have to wait for the order to really know how they will adjudicate visas.
So order आएपछि जजले पोजिटिभ अर्डर गरेपछि कसरी भिजाहरू प्रोसेस गर्छ कसले पहिला भिजा पाउँछ भनेर हेर्नलाई चाहिँ जजको अर्डर नै हेर्नुपर्छ जजको अर्डर हेरेपछि अनि त्यो कुराहरू एम्बेसीले कसरी अर्डर फलो गर्छ त्यो कुराहरू चाहिँ पछिकै लागि पछि मात्रै थाहा हुन्छ सो अहिले भन्ने गेस गर्न गाह्रो छ त्यो कुरा
Right, so I have Mr. Thapa asked, is there any benefit to having a low case number? There is a benefit with the low case number in our lawsuit in the sense that our consular processing teams are going to be working to adjudicate your visa, contacting the embassy. So if you have a low case number, our consular teams may be able to get you an interview more quickly than if you had a high case number. So that's the benefit of having a low case number and working with our office.
थोरै केस नम्बर भएको क्लाइन्ट्सहरूलाई चाहिँ हाम्रो काउन्सिलर टिमहरूले एम्बेसीहरूमा कुरा गर्दाखेरि केस वाइज कुरा गर्ने भएको भएर थोरै केस नम्बर भएको क्लाइन्ट्सहरूलाई चाहिँ अलिकति त्यो हिसाबमा चाहिँ फाइदा हुन सक्छ तर जसको अर्डरको हिसाबमा कसरी की प्ले आउट हुन्छ भन्ने चाहिँ थाहा छैन हाम्रो इन्टरनल प्रोसेसको लागि चाहिँ लो केस नम्बर भएको मान्छेहरूलाई चाहिँ हामीले एम्बेसीमा फर्स्टमा मेसेज गर्ने फर्स्टमा कुरा गर्ने अनि फर्स्टमा इन्टरभ्यू स्केड्युल गराउने त्यसरी प्रायोरिटी हुन्छ
Mr. Busal asks, when will the final result be in this lawsuit? So I'm assuming it's the new lawsuit. It's difficult to say. Some judges move cases very quickly. They say that they want expedited briefing. They want the attorneys to write their papers very quickly. They schedule hearings very quickly, and they could adjudicate a case in less than 6 months. Some judges take more time, and they push cases out. They have extended briefing schedules. Then they could have a very drawn out, lengthy course of a case. So it's impossible to tell before filing, before knowing your judge, and before going through some litigation to know when you will have a final result in a case. There's no way we can know now.
यो केसलाई कति टाइम लाग्छ भनेर चाहिँ अहिले भन्न मिल्दैन किनभने कुनै जजले चाहिँ अब 6 महिनाभन्दा कममा नै डिसिजन दिएको केसहरू पनि छ कुनैमा चाहिँ अब जजले अलिकति डिटेलमा डिस्कसन्सहरू गर्ने डिटेल्समा जान खोज्दाखेरि चाहिँ अलिकति लामो भएको पनि केस छ सो अहिले हामीले फाइल पनि गरेको छैन फाइल नगरिकन जज पनि थाहा हुँदैन अनि जजको स्टाइलहरू गेस गर्न पनि मिल्दैन सो त्यही भएको भएर चाहिँ अहिले यो लसुटको डिसिजन आउन कति टाइम लाग्छ भनेर चाहिँ भन्न मिल्दैन भन्न सकिदैन
Mr. Manandar asked, Mr. Morrison has stated that the Department of State is not meant to categorize immigrant visas as it has recently announced. Is this fact helpful to DV winners? We believe it is. Our government has stated that there should be an intent by the Department of State to adjudicate 55,000 visas. A prioritization scheme that goes against congressional intent is clearly illegal. So I believe that this fact will help us in our case.
So कांग्रेसले DV लटरी सुरु गर्दाखेरि 55,000 वटा भिजा दिने भनेर सुरु गरेको प्रोग्राम हो. सो यो अहिलेको नयाँ रुलिङले चाहिँ भिजाको नम्बर कम गर्ने भिजा DV भिजालाई क्याटेगोरीमा तल लाने डिसिजनहरु चाहिँ कांग्रेसको डिसिजनको अगेन्स्टमा हो. त्यही भएर चाहिँ यो इलिगल हो जस्तो लाग्छ, जुन कारणले चाहिँ हाम्रो केस अझ स्ट्रङ हुने जस्तो फिल भइरहेछ अहिले हाम्रो डिस्कसनमा चाहिँ.
The question is, why are some embassies accepting and some not? I think this is the real question we're going to have for the government in our case. We really don't know why some countries are adjudicating way more diversity visas than other diversity visas when they're operating on the same guidelines. So these are the same questions we're going to bring to the court for the government to answer.
So कुनै एम्बेसीले धेरै प्रोसेस, कुनै एम्बेसीले थोरै प्रोसेस गरिरहेको चाहिँ हामीलाई थाहा छैन. अनि यो कुरा चाहिँ हामीले केसमा गभर्नमेन्टलाई सोध्ने प्लान छ. किन कुनै एम्बेसीले चाहिँ DV को केसहरु प्रोसेस गरिरहेछ, कुनैले गरिरहेछ छैन, यो कुराहरु चाहिँ किन यस्तो डिस्कनेक्ट छ, किन यस्तो ग्याप छ डिफरेन्ट एम्बेसीजहरुमा भनेर चाहिँ हामीले यो लसुटमा गभर्नमेन्टलाई सोध्ने प्लान गरिरहेछौं. यसको एन्सर चाहिँ हामीलाई भन्दा हामीले अझ गभर्नमेन्टलाई नै सोध्ने प्लान गरिरहेछौं.
Hey, give me 1 second. It's getting a little dark in here because the sun is setting. It's going to turn on the light. Let's get a little brighter here. Yes, the sun has set in California. Okay. I have another question here. If I have gotten the retainer agreement, is it necessary to fill out the G28 form by myself? There is a question on the form that says, do I consent to this form filling out the G28 agreement for me and using the signature? If you press yes to that consenting of the form itself, creating your G28, you do not have to submit to us the G28. Now, if you said no, but you would like us to still represent you in the law, in our consular processing, then you do have to send us the G28. So you should see in your results of your form that you should have gotten by email whether you've consented to the creation of the G28.
हाम्रो यो लसुटको फर्ममा एउटा क्वेशन छ जसमा चाहिँ तपाईलाई तपाईको फर्ममा युज भएको सिग्नेचर G28 मा युज गरौँ भनेर सोधेको छ. सो त्यसमा यस गर्नु भएको छ भने चाहिँ छुट्टै G28 भर्नु पर्दैन, तर त्यसमा यस गर्नु भएको छैन भने चाहिँ G28 भरेर पठाउनु पर्छ. सो तपाईको सबमिशनको चाहिँ समरीमा गएर हेर्नु होला, त्यहाँ रिटेनर एग्रीमेन्ट वेल त्यसमा G28 मा अग्री गर्नु भएको छ भने तपाईले G28 भर्नु पर्दैन. त्यसमा अग्री गर्नु भएको छैन, नो गर्नु भएको छ भने चाहिँ तपाईले G28 भरेर सबमिट गर्नुपर्छ.
Great. So I have another question here. Does COVID situation make reasonable sense for not getting DV interviews appointed? What if lockdown extended? I don't believe the COVID situation is appropriate for the wholesale denial of visa interviews that we've seen for a very long time. So I don't believe the COVID situation is responsible for the lack of adjudications of visas. The State Department had a long time to get the ball rolling with diversity visas, and it's chosen not to. And I don't believe the COVID situation is an excuse in all situations.
Great. So COVID ले गर्दाखेरि भिजा नदिरहेको भन्न चाहिँ अलिकति मेक सेन्स गर्न गाह्रो हुन्छ, किनभने यो अहिले नेपालमा कोभिड सुरु भएको पनि धेरै भएको छैन, 2-3 हप्तामा एकदमै धेरै बढिरहेछ. तर त्यो भन्दा अगाडि यत्रो टाइम हुँदाखेरि पनि स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टले चाहिँ कोभिडलाई प्रायोरिटाइज गरेन. सो आई थिंक 1-2 महिना जस्तो अगाडि US एम्बेसीले फेसबुकमा पनि हामीले अब प्लान गरिरहेछौं DV भिजाहरु प्रोसेस गर्नलाई भनेर भनेको थियो, तर त्यस्तो प्लानहरु कहिले पनि एक्सनमा आएन. सो यो चाहिँ कोभिडले गर्दा भन्दा पनि यो चाहिँ इन्टेन्सनली ढिलो गरिरहेको जस्तो भएको भएर चाहिँ कोभिडलाई दोष लाउन मिल्दैन भनेर हाम्रो चाहिँ पोइन्ट त्यस्तो छ.
So I have a question here from Mr. Padel. What is the cap for this lawsuit? Are there more than 5,000 participants? We don't have a cap at this point. We may cap it in the future if our demand becomes too great for our office to handle and fulfill our professional responsibilities. So there is no cap at this point. We're hovering around the 1,000 selectees that have signed up so far, but there is no cap yet, but there may be in the future.
Great. So अहिले नै कतिजना हुन्छ यो केसमा भनेर हामीलाई अहिले थाहा छैन. सो हामी कतिजना लिन्छौँ भनेर पनि स्योर भएको छैन. तर हामीले प्रोसेस गर्न सक्ने स्टेट भन्दा माथि नम्बर गयो भने चाहिँ हामीले क्याप गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ. हाम्रो क्यापेसिटी भन्दा माथि जाने भयो भने हामीले अब हाम्रो टिमको क्यापेसिटी हामीले तपाईहरुलाई रिप्रेजेन्ट गर्ने क्यापेसिटी भन्दा नम्बर्स माथि जान थाल्यो भने चाहिँ क्याप गर्नुपर्छ. तर अहिले चाहिँ क्याप गर्ने सिचुएसन छैन किनभने आई थिंक अहिले चाहिँ 1000 वटा जस्तो केस क्लाइन्ट्सहरु अहिले साइन अप गरिसक्नु भएको छ. तर बिस्तारै हेर्दै गएपछि एउटा पोइन्टमा गर्नुपर्ने पनि हुन सक्छ.
Other visas were issued in Nepal. Only diversity visas were not issued. Why? It's because the State Department has implemented an unlawful prioritization scheme that doesn't allow for the adjudication of diversity visas or the number of diversity visas to be adjudicated as Congress intended. So that's why they're not issuing the diversity visas in Nepal.
So, State Department ले चाहिँ DV category चाहिँ fourth priority दिएर अहिले अरु क्याटेगोरीहरुलाई चाहिँ प्रायोरिटी दिइराको भएर परिवारहरुलाई अनि इमिडिएट परिवारहरुलाई सबै त्यस्तो भिजाहरुलाई प्रायोरिटी दिएर DV लाई फोर्थ क्याटेगोरी गरिराको भएर चाहिँ भिजा नदिइराको हो जुन चाहिँ कांग्रेसले बनाएको लको अगेन्स्टमा हो. त्यसलाई चाहिँ हामीले फाइट गर्ने भनेर अहिले प्लान गरिरहेका छौं.
Great. So if anybody has any other questions, please write them. Seems like we've gotten through all of the questions so far. Seems like that's good. Let me just do a little bit of an explanation of what we're really trying to do here. We're trying to give our clients the best opportunity to get their visas. We know that the State Department issued some unlawful proclamations in the past and have interpreted this 212F travel bans that President Trump put into place to stop the adjudication of visas. So we want to remedy that injury. So we want to make sure that because they've taken unlawful actions in the past, that there is some relief given to diversity visas.
अहिले चाहिँ हाम्रो मेन फोकस भनेको चाहिँ स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टले ट्रम्प एडमिनिस्ट्रेसन हुँदाखेरि ट्राभल ब्यान्सहरु गरेर डीवी लटरीको इमिग्रेन्ट भिजाहरु ब्यान गरेको कुराहरुलाई चाहिँ अहिलेको एडमिनिस्ट्रेसनले पनि अलिकति कन्टिन्यू गरिरहेको जस्तो देखिन्छ. स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टले डीवी लाई प्रायोरिटी नदिने भनेर त्यो कहीँ पनि लेखेको रुल नै हैन अनि त्यसरी डिसाइड गर्नलाई स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टसँग राइट पनि छैन. सो त्यो कुराहरुले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ अहिले यो च्यालेन्ज गर्नु नै पर्छ जस्तो सिचुएसन भइराछ. खास त्यही भएर चाहिँ अनि अहिले यो लसुट गर्ने प्लान गरिराको.
But also that currently the Biden administration has adopted a prioritization scheme that Trump put in place that essentially doesn't allow for diversity visas to be adjudicated. So we are also going to challenge that as well, and that policy is in place today.
त्यो मात्र नभएर अहिले बाइडेन एडमिनिस्ट्रेसनले ट्रम्प एडमिनिस्ट्रेसनको यो प्रायोरिटाइज गर्ने भिजा क्याटेगोरी प्रायोरिटाइज गर्ने पोलिसी चाहिँ अहिले बाइडेन एडमिनिस्ट्रेसनले फलो गरिरहेछ. त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ डीवी चाहिँ एकदमै तल परेको भएर चाहिँ हामीले यसमा चाहिँ च्यालेन्ज गर्नै पर्ने जस्तो सिचुएसन भइरहेछ.
So Mr. Hamal asks, is it possible to extend the deadline? It is possible to preserve visas for adjudication after the September 30th deadline. We have seen that in another case, the Gomez matter with the Mohammed and Fong Jong and Kennedy plaintiffs. And so in the sense of extending the deadline, we can preserve the visas beyond the deadline. That has happened in the past.
So these are Gomez case example हेर्दाखेरि डेडलाइन भन्दा पछि पनि इस्यु गर्ने गरी भिजाको यति नम्बर अफ भिजा भनेर पछिको लागि राख्ने चाहिँ भएको छ तर डेडलाइन नै एक्सटेन्ड गर्ने भन्ने चाहिँ सिचुएसन हुँदैन डेडलाइन एक्सटेन्ड भन्दा पनि यतिवटा भिजा चाहिँ डेडलाइन पछि पनि इस्यु गर्ने भनेर चाहिँ डिसिजन भएको हुनाले चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ पोसिबल छ भन्ने छ तर डेडलाइन सेप्टेम्बर 30th चाहिँ एक्सटेन्ड गर्ने भनेर चाहिँ भन्न सकिदैन
And Mr. Yanis states that over 900 visas were issued in Kathmandu in February alone. But they didn't interview any DV cases. They stated that there wasn't enough staff. That's exactly our point, that they're adjudicating other visa categories at higher rates than diversity visas applicants. And this is something we're going to bring to the judge, and we're going to force the State Department to explain why that is lawful and have a decision on that legality of those decisions.
So हाम्रो जजको अगाडि राख्ने केसको मेन पोइन्ट पनि स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टले एम्बेसीले अरु भिजालाई डीबी को अगाडि लगेर त्यो प्रायोरिटी सेट गर्ने राइट कसरी पायो अनि यो कसरी लिगल हुन्छ भनेर चाहिँ हामीले स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्ट अनि त्यसपछि एम्बेसी सबैलाई क्वेशन गर्ने हाम्रो मेन पोइन्ट नै त्यही हो 900 वटा भिजामा एकदमै थोरै डीबी भिजा दिने राइट कसरी पायो उनीहरुले भन्ने कुरा नै अहिलेको यो लसुटको मेन पोइन्ट एउटा वान अफ द मेन पोइन्ट्स चाहिँ त्यो नै हो
Okay, so the question is from the Paul case number 8500. So there is no update on I took in the lawsuit of Curtis. Is there any chance to get interview for me? There is a chance to get an interview for you. That's the purposes of the lawsuit. We have a lawsuit in Jacob. We also have this new lawsuit, and also our consular processing teams are working on your behalf to get you an interview. So there is a possibility of getting a interview.
इन्टरभ्यु पाउने चान्स छ अझै पनि हाम्रो अर्को जेकब केस भइरहेछ यो नयाँ केस फाइल गर्न लागिरहेछ अनि हाम्रो काउन्सिलर प्रोसेसिङ टिमले सबै त्यही काम गरिरहेकै त्यसकै लागि हो सो तपाईले इन्टरभ्यु पाउने अनि इन्टरभ्युमा सक्सेसफुल भएर भिजा पाउनको लागि नै हामीले सबै गरिरहेको सो पाउने चान्सेस अझै पनि छ
So Mr. DaCosta asks, will increased number of plaintiffs make it harder for everyone to get processed? Not if the judge orders the government to process all of the visa applications for the plaintiffs. So it really depends on the order. And it's going to be difficult to get a visa interview, regardless of whether you participate in this lawsuit or not, without some judicial intervention, without the court ordering something.
So courtly order नगरिकन इन्टरभ्यु पाउन यतिकै गाह्रो नै सिचुएसन छ अहिले so what was the other I think I missed the first point Rafael what was the question again
it's going to be the question was will increased number of plaintiffs make it harder for everyone to get processed so the answer to that is that it's going to be hard to get processed without participating in the lawsuit so it's going to be difficult no matter what
Okay. लसुटमा पार्टिसिपेट गरे पनि नगरे पनि इन्टरभ्यु पाउन सबै गाह्रै हुन्छ तर हाम्रो मेन इन्टेन्सन भनेको चाहिँ जजलाई हाम्रो केसमा भएको सबै क्लाइन्ट्सहरुको लागि चाहिँ भिजा राख्दिनु रिगार्डलेस हुन्छ सेप्टेम्बर 30th भित्र हुन्छ कि सेप्टेम्बर 30th पछि हुन्छ कि कसरी हुन्छ हाम्रो क्लाइन्ट्सहरुले चाहिँ भिजा पाउनु पर्ने भनेर चाहिँ हाम्रो माग हुन्छ त्यसको लागि चाहिँ हाम्रो जति नम्बर भए पनि जजको डिसिजन अनुसार फरक पर्छ
So everybody keeps asking the question of will my case number make it easier or do I have a chance to get the lawsuit? We know that case numbers aren't necessarily translating to whether or not you get the visa interview or not. What's really translating is if your embassy is working and if they're processing cases, that's going to lead to you getting a visa interview. But this is it's such a weird time with diversity visas, you can't really speculate on which numbers will get interviews or not.
सो यो अरू वर्ष जस्तो इजिली गेस गर्न मिल्ने इयर होइन सो त्यही भएर पनि तपाईँको एमबिसीले कतिको काम गरिरहेछ तपाईँ डकुमेन्ट्स प्रोसेसिङको कुन स्टेटमा हुनुहुन्छ त्यो सबै कुराहरूले फरक पर्छ केस नम्बर भन्दा पनि अनि अर्को केसमा चाहिँ अब यो तपाईँले अटर्नीहरू हायर गर्नु भएको छ कि छैन तपाईँले लिगली इङ्गेज गर्नु भएको छ कि छैन त्यो गर्ने हाई केस नम्बर सँग थोरै केस नम्बर भएको त्यो नगर्ने मान्छे कम्पेयर गर्दाखेरि हाई केस नम्बर विथ अटर्नी हुन्छ लिगली इङ्गेज भइरहेको मान्छेको चान्सेस आइदिन्छ सो एक्ज्याक्टली यो केस नम्बरको कति चान्स हुन्छ भन्न चाहिँ यो गाह्रो छ
Great. So the question is here, is it fair to DV lottery winners that there is a deadline? I don't believe it's fair. I think their selectees should have an opportunity to get those $55,000 visas allocated to that year and beyond the September 30th deadline until all of those visas are adjudicated. But that's what the law says. And my job is not to change the law in respect to this lawsuit, but to make sure that the laws are respected. So I understand your frustration with the September 30th deadline, but that's what the law says.
So September 30 तारिखमा DP 2021 को प्रोसेसिङ बन्द हुने भन्ने कुरा फेयर होइन तर त्यो चाहिँ ल अनि अमेरिकामा चाहिँ सबै कुरा ल अनुसार हुने भएको भएर त्यो ल भएपछि त्यही दिन नै एन्ड हुन्छ अनि हाम्रो एज अ टिम हाम्रो यो ल अफिसको काम चाहिँ ल चेन्ज गर्ने होइन कि त्यो लिगल बााउन्ड्री भित्र बसेर कसरी हुन्छ हाम्रो काम गर्ने हो सो त्यही भएको भएर फेयर चाहिँ होइन तर पनि अब त्यो अब ल भएपछि त्यही नै हो जे हो त्यही हो भन्छ नि त्यस्तै खालको सिचुएसन छ
Okay, so the next question is, if 3,800 diversity visa winners participate in this lawsuit, is it possibly issued all visas we have lost the several months? Well, I just know that even if all 3,800 diversity visa winners were scheduled for interviews in our lawsuit, not all of them would get their visas. We know that about half of diversity visa winners aren't qualified for one reason or another, and that's why they select more diversity visas selectees than there are eligible visas in every year. So I don't believe it's going to be possible for everybody to get their visa if you participate in the lawsuit, just for other reasons, even if we were to schedule everybody for interviews.
So तपाईले लसमा भाग लिए पनि नलिए पनि तपाईले इन्टरभ्यु पाउने भन्दैमा भिजा पाउने ग्यारेन्टी हुँदैन त्यही भएर 55,000 भिजाको लागि 1,10,000 1,20,000 जस्तो मान्छे सिलेक्ट गर्छ किनभने आधी जस्तो मान्छेहरू यतिकै डिस्क्वालिफाई हुन्छ सो हाम्रो मेन इन्टेन्सन भनेको चाहिँ इन्टरभ्युसम्म लिएर जाने हो भिजा पाउने नपाउने ग्यारेन्टी चाहिँ हुँदैन अनि धेरैजना मान्छेहरू चाहिँ इन्टरभ्युमा गएर पनि डिस्क्वालिफाई हुनुहुन्छ
Mr. Shrestha asks, should we or can we change the embassy to increase the chance of second letter and get interviewed to other countries where embassy is open? We really don't know how the State Department is handling transfer requests at this time for diversity visa selectees. There is an opportunity, and it may lead to increased chances if we can get a embassy changed to a visa processing, but it really depends on if embassies are accepting transfers for diversity visa applicants at this point, and we don't know that yet.
अहिले एम्बेसीजहरुले DV इन्टरभ्युजहरु ट्रान्सफर गर्ने एप्लिकेशन्सहरु एक्सेप्ट गरिरहेछ कि छैन थाहा छैन वेल अब एम्बेसी हेरेर हुन्छ हाम्रो चान्स बढी हुन्छ कि कम हुन्छ अब एम्बेसी अनुसार फरक पर्न सक्छ तर अहिले स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टले कसरी यो कुरा ह्यान्डल गरिरहेछ DV ट्रान्सफर केसेसहरु कसरी डिल गरिरहेछ भन्ने हामीलाई अहिले थाहा छैन सो अहिले भन्न सकिदैन
The question is, my question is, now that Nepal is in lockdown, will they schedule visa interviews? It's unlikely that they're going to be scheduling visa interviews for diversity visa clients during this time.
So अहिले लकडाउनको बेलामा DV विनर्सहरुलाई भिजा इन्टरभ्यु स्केड्युल गर्ने चान्सेस एकदमै कम छ बेसिकली भन्नु पर्दाखेरि गर्दैन नै भन्दा पनि हुन्छ अहिले एकदमै गर्दैन अब यो खुलेपछि कस्तो सिचुएसन हुन्छ भनेर चाहिँ अब त्यसपछि नै थाहा हुन्छ
But if we were to get a court order mandating that they adjudicate these visas, that could change.
तर कोर्टबाट जजले रुल गरेर एम्बेसीहरूलाई स्टेट डिपार्टमेन्टलाई अर्डर दिएर यो केसहरू प्रोसेस गर भन्यो भने चाहिँ अनि गर्नुपर्ने केस आउन सक्छ।
The question from Mr. Shrestha is, will any plaintiffs get equal benefits if any lawsuit wins? And that really depends on the order and from the judge in that individual lawsuit. So it's unable to tell now, but generally, courts are not able to issue relief for individuals that are not before that court unless it's a class action. So unless that case is a class action, it's unlikely that it will give class-wide relief.
कसले कस्तो बेनिफिट्स पाउँछ भनेर अहिले भन्न सकिदैन, तर कोर्टले कसको लागि डिसिजन गर्ने हो भन्दाखेरि जो कोर्टमा गएर अपिल गरिरहेछ, जसले लसुट फाइल गरिरहेछ उसको लागि मात्र डिसिजन्सहरू दिने हो। सो त्यही भएर अब कोर्टको अगाडि नै नगएको मान्छेहरूले रिलिफ पाउने भन्ने कुरा हुँदैन। सो त्यही भएर अब कसले कसरी बेनिफिट्स पाउँछ अनि त्यो चाहिँ अब अर्डर जजले कसरी अर्डर गर्नुहुन्छ के गर्नुहुन्छ त्यो अनुसार फरक पर्ने कुरा भएको भएर अहिले भन्न मिल्दैन।
Great. Mr. DaCosta asked how many Nepali plaintiffs are registered so far. I don't have that number on top of my head, but I know many have already signed up for the case.
So नेपालबाट कतिजना नयाँ लसुटमा भाग लिन लागिराख्नु भएको छ भनेर हामीलाई एक्ज्याक्ट नम्बर चाहिँ थाहा छैन, तर धेरैजना नै हुनुहुन्छ। म डेली कन्ट्याक्ट पनि गरेर हुन्छु मेरो टेलिग्राममा, अनि धेरैजना पार्टिसिपेन्ट्सहरू आइसक्नु भयो। अनि यो मे भित्रमा अझ 26 दिन जस्तो बाँकी छ, त्यसमा अझै धेरै आउनुहुन्छ भन्ने हामीलाई हाम्रो होप पनि छ। सो अहिले एक्ज्याक्ट नम्बर चाहिँ हामीलाई थाहा छैन।
Mr. Dako asks, if we win this case without the result of the reserved visas, is there any possibility to provide visas for 2021 plaintiffs? Yes. A preliminary injunction could say to adjudicate all of the plaintiffs' visas before the deadline, and that would result in the issuance of visas for plaintiffs that have signed up for this case.
So हामीले फर्स्टमै लसुट फाइल गरेर जजले सेप्टेम्बर 30 तारिखभन्दा अगाडि सबै प्लेन्टिफ्सहरूको लागि भिजा दिनुपर्छ भनेर अर्डर इस्यु गर्नुभयो भने त्यो सेप्टेम्बर 30 डेडलाइन भन्दा अगाडि सबै गर्नुपर्छ। लास्ट इयर गरे जस्तै एक महिनामा 7-8 हजारवटा भिजा एम्बेसीहरूले अरू सबै भिजा क्याटेगोरीहरूलाई तलको प्रायोरिटीमा राखेर डिभी भिजा दिएको जस्तै योपालि पनि जजले त्यसै खालको अर्डर दिनुभयो भने चाहिँ सेप्टेम्बर भन्दा अगाडि हुने चान्सेस हुन्छ।
Great, guys. So we've been doing this for an hour now. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, all of you in Nepal. We want you guys all to sign up. We have the deferred payment plans for Nepali clients so that more people can sign up. And we really, really, really want to help as many Nepali plaintiffs as we can. So we encourage you guys all to sign up for the case.
Sure. सबैजना बिहान 8 बजे बिहान उठेर यो भिडियो अटेन्ड गर्नुहुने सबैजनालाई थ्याङ्क यू भेरी मच, धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। सो हाम्रो अहिले यो नेपालको लागि चाहिँ हाम्रो पेमेन्ट प्लान छ। अहिले तपाईहरुले लसुट जोइन गर्नलाई पैसा लाग्दैन, पछि आएपछि सक्सेसफुल भएर भिजा लाग्यो भने मात्र गर्ने हो। सो नगर्ने भन्दा पनि गर्ने धेरै रिजनहरु छ। सो सकेसम्म धेरै मान्छेहरुले गर्नुहोस्, अनि त्यही भएर अनि त्यसो गरेर कसरी के प्ले आउट हुन्छ भन्ने त भन्न सकिदैन, तर हामी हाम्रो टिमबाट बेस्ट एफर्ट लाउँदै छौं। थ्यांक यू।
Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Hi, this is Curtis Morrison. If you like this video, like and subscribe.